Family of 5. My dad was in the Navy. He served in World War II. He served in the Korean War. He had his own insurance agency out in North Adams. We grew up in a family for which responsibility and accountability was really important. We walked to school. We came from a small city. And I brought those values and those qualities with me as district attorney, as an assistant district attorney before that, and as your Attorney General. I have worked consistently to make sure that I have been fiscally responsible around the kinds of things that matter to people here in Massachusetts. When Wall Street went unregulated, when Washington wouldn't regulate, I'm the one who brought predatory lending actions that brought back money to Massachusetts and kept people in their homes. We got money back from Wall Street to make sure for cities and towns like Springfield, $12 million because Merrill Lynch sold auction rate securities here that they shouldn't have. I understand exactly how you have to address the spending and how we have to address tax relief for the middle class, and I intend to do that when I go to Washington. I brought back money for the Commonwealth in Medicaid fraud and consumer protection, and also worked really hard to keep our kids safe in school, online, in our communities. I know a little bit about public safety and how we balance public safety and constitutional rights, and there's nothing more important to me than keeping this country safe and everybody who lives here. And I am asking for your vote on January 19th because you want a senator who will address the problems like the economy and energy and safety, and not just pretend that we don't have any. Thank you.
Mr. Kennedy, 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for having us here, Jim. So I have to start by saying that no candidate who advocates continued military spending and no candidate who advocates continued spending on entitlement really understands how the economy works. We have to cut spending, and nobody wants to address the issue of cutting spending because it's a hard thing for voters to swallow. Nobody wants to talk about the cutting of entitlements. But if you want to get the country back on its feet, you have to cut taxes so people can spend money. Before you cut taxes, you have to address the issue of spending. Otherwise, you have the other issue that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, which is the issue of the deficit. I've gone on record many times, I'm going to do it again. If I go to Washington, I will cut a number of things and save billions of dollars by cutting spending. I will bring hope in the troops, which will not only save American lives, but it will save billions of dollars. I will repeal every plank, every dollar, every dime of Obamacare. Chances are Obamacare will pass because somebody else will get bought off. The question is who's going to repeal it after it passes, and I will do that. I will repeal the increases on pay raises for the $1.1 trillion in spending that was recently put forth by the federal government. I will repeal every hack job and every costly expense of the current administration that has gone on since Obama took office. I will audit the Federal Reserve, and where we find corruption in the Federal Reserve, I will file legislation to end the Federal Reserve. And then I will examine the 43% spending increases that happened under the Bush-Cheney administration. And wherever I find waste, I will file legislation to repeal that waste and bring the money back to the taxpayer. Then I will go after the federal income tax. And that's when we can cut taxes and get the economy going again. Nobody likes to talk about the hard decisions that we have to make. One person here is willing to say, hey, I'm not coming across with a nice message. We have to cut spending, and I will do that.
That is time, sir. Mr. Brown, 2 minutes.
Well, thank you very much. It's good to be back in Springfield. I worked here for a while and enjoyed living over near Winnick. And my mom was divorced many times, and my dad as well, and my mom was on welfare. And I remember getting the box of cheese on the truck. And one of the reasons I'm a Republican is because I believe in the value of a dollar. I know what it is, and I know that we are spending too much in not only Beacon Hill, but Capitol Hill. If you like the way things are going and the way that Washington is acting right now with the backroom deals, the lack of transparency, the giveaways, the fact that they're raising our taxes, increasing deficit spending, and you like the fact that we're giving rights to terrorists that don't deserve them at our expense, giving them attorneys, then you need to send me down there so I can make sure that we address those things. This race is about differences. You have all good people here running, but it's about differences. You have a candidate who wants to lower your taxes and increase jobs. Decrease spending, increase jobs. That's me. Martha is proposing additional taxing and spending, And that's what we don't need right now in Washington. We need to look at the health care bill. As the 41st senator, I can stop it. Not as an obstructionist, but to look at it in a different way, to make sure that we do it better. And to look at a cap-and-trade national energy tax, we don't need it right now. It's going to put businesses out of business. It's going to cost you between $15 and $2,700 per family just to turn on the lights. And then the expiring tax cuts. It's at a bad time. We're in tough shape right now, Jim, and we need to look at somebody who's going to hold the line on taxes, on spending, and be different than the others, because we have 12 people down there right now, and if you send Martha down there, she'll be almost robotic and in lockstep with the other 12 that are there. Wouldn't it be nice to send somebody down there who's different, a Republican, to offer some balance and to create the dialogue again, because good government is gone in Washington, and I want to have an opportunity to bring it back. Thank you for holding this, by the way.
And that is time, sir. Quickly, thanks to the candidates, Martha Coakley, Joseph L. Kennedy, and Scott Brown. Thank you for watching and investing an hour in democracy. Make it mean something. Get out and vote on January 19th. Thank you and good night. Sir.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you very much.